What's going on, everyone? Today is the day that the Lakers are officially on the market for trades, right? This was the date that Rob Pelinka was trying to get deals done going forward. It's also kind of the soft date for all teams, right? All teams have players that they are now able to trade and kind of work out, and other options become available. And this is kind of like the beginning stages leading into the trade deadline, right? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that a trade is going to happen today or tomorrow or anything like that. Hopefully for the Lakers, trade happens sooner rather than later, and up to the point of recording this video, we have no trades or no real word of any trade that's in development. But what we did get is that the Lakers are monitoring the Bulls situation. Zach Lavine would satisfy Lakers' dreamless return for the 2 first-round picks they have available to trade per Yahoo. And look, Zach Lavine, he would be a great addition to the Lakers, right? Having that, we need scoring, we need shooting, we need things like that. Zach Lavine could come in and be that third, second option that could really kind of help right the ship for the Lakers. I mean, Zach Lavine, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis would be fantastic. Even after LeBron leaves, you'd still have Zach Lavine and Anthony Davis for the foreseeable future. Like, that would be a good spot for the Lakers to be in. Chicago lost once again yesterday and are just on a fast pace towards the bottom, and I don't see it changing. You know, there's lots of people, Bulls fans, that believe like, oh, if we were healthier, we were this or we were that. They weren't a very good team last year. They're not a very good team this year. A lot of the guys can't stay healthy. Lonzo's very likely to miss the entirety of the season. At what point do you say, like, okay, it's time to just blow this up? If they get a top 4 pick this year, then they actually get to keep their pick, or even next year, they get to keep their pick. Otherwise, it goes to Orlando. So if you're in the ballpark of that, like, what's the point? I mean, right now, you probably are giving Orlando still like a top 10 pick. Like, so that's not a good position, and a position that Chicago thought they would be in. And if you were ever going to tank, now would be the time. But I have a couple problems with this. Personally, as great as I think Zach Lavine would be on the Lakers, he's been linked to the Lakers in the offseason. There were talks about Zach Lavine potentially going to the Lakers, that he wants to be a Laker and that the Lakers would love him. So maybe he can kind of force his way there and say, hey, you know, like, I want to go to the Lakers, trade me to the Lakers. Issue is, one, he can't be traded till January 15th. So that basically puts the Lakers at a standstill till then, right? Because unless you can find a deal that doesn't require any of the first, okay, cool, trade Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, go get that deal. But now you're waiting at least another month before you can realistically go and try to trade for Zach Lavine. And that's assuming that Chicago would even be willing to trade Zach Lavine. Two, even if they are, right, like, by that point, we might be so far behind that getting Zach Lavine won't help us this year, right? It won't do really much, right? Because now we're fighting such a big uphill battle. It's going to be tough, right? So I would rather the Lakers continue to explore trades that can help them now, and rather than, you know, trying to go chase the superstar. Because that's, to me, that's kind of what the Lakers keep falling into, is the superstar trap, right? Oh, if we get this other star, if we get this other piece, we get this. And it's like Anthony Davis and LeBron James are playing so incredibly well right now. They don't need another superstar. Go get a couple really good role guys to come in and fit around Anthony Davis and LeBron James that can take some of the pressure off of them. The thing with another star is, one, it's harder to integrate another star than it is a couple role guys that have always been role guys that understand what their roles are and are willing to embrace that and just take some pressure off of LeBron and Anthony Davis, rather than another star that, one, is going to hinder the production of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but also now you have to try to go through that awkward stage of, like, okay, is Lavine the third option? Is he the second option? Is LeBron taking a step back? Is AD taking a step back and Lavine's the first option? Like, what are we doing here? And now you have this, like, back and forth, and it doesn't always work out. And now if it's like clunky and it's kind of like this isolation of you go, I go, you go, I go, then you could just really, it could end up being worse. And you have no assets, no nothing. You have to try to now, you know, Mickey Mouse a team every year around Lavine, LeBron, and Davis. You know, I wouldn't be mad if the Lakers could get Zach Lavine. Like, if the Lakers went and got Zach Lavine, you know, who's really going to be upset about that? I just don't think it's like a necessity. I think the Lakers have so many holes, so many needs, that going and getting Zach Lavine isn't going to just turn the tides. Now, if we do get to the playoffs, right? Like, let's say we're able to weather the storm and we do get Zach Lavine. If they can make it work, and they can kind of have like a pecking order, then yeah, they realistically have a shot to win a championship. With Zach Lavine, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, you have a really good shot at winning a championship. I think you're a legit contender. But injuries, health, things like that, like Zach Lavine hasn't really been a model of health as of late. There's questions about his knees and all kinds of stuff. So that's a real concern. Also, like, why would Chicago want to trade Zach Lavine to the Lakers? Like, for our second round picks 5 years from now, right? Like, if Zach Lavine became available, I do think that there are other teams that would go after him. Now, how many teams? I don't know, and what are those options? Like, I've even talked about, like, the Lakers looking at Zach Lavine and, DeMar DeRozan and maybe trying to work out some deal. Like, maybe Chicago does value cap relief and the first round picks in the future. Like, maybe they look at it and go, okay, like, if we do any of the other deals, we're going to have to take on a long-term salary, which we don't really want. And their draft picks are going to be high draft picks where the Lakers could potentially be lottery picks. So maybe there is some value there, although Chicago has said that they do not, that they don't want Russell Westbrook even with the 2 firsts attached. But everyone says that until the time comes. It depends on what's on the market. Supply and demand is a big thing. But if there's any type of bidding war, the Lakers are out. Right? Any type of bidding war. Because if the Knicks, because the Knicks have said that they're willing to give a Godfather package for Lavine if he's available. If the Knicks get involved, that's it. We're done. Like, there's no way we're going to be able to keep up with the Knicks and their, like, mountain of picks. Right? Now, I do think DeMar DeRozan, I think he is obtainable because I don't see many teams going after DeMar DeRozan and willing to give up too much value. I just don't. I think the Lakers could legitimately acquire, like, DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. I think that's a guy that those two could realistically be obtained from Chicago, in my opinion, if they became available. But again, it's like, what does Chicago want to do? And does somebody come out of the woodworks and go, okay, like, DeMar would be great on this team. And DeMar, the shooting, that's a big concern. Although, I think DeMar could be great. The type of set you could run, he's like just a mid-range assassin. Like, that would be great to kind of operate in the mid-range. You can run those kind of high pick and pops, run pick and rolls. He gives another ball handler, another scorer. He's been one of, like, the most clutch players the last few seasons. Although this season, they really haven't been in many games to, like, do that for him to prove that again. But, like, last year, I believe he was the most clutch player in the league last year, based on, like, last 2 minutes, 5 minutes, stuff like that. So, DeMar DeRozan, I think, is realistically an option that the Lakers could go after. But again, it's the same sort of argument, right? Like, in my opinion, if it came down to, like, DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic over Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, I would rather have DeMar and Vu. Like, that's just my opinion, because I just think Vu basically gives you the same thing that Turner does. He doesn't give you the shot blocking, but he's a better passer and just all around scorer. It doesn't need the ball as much as, like, Miles Turner does. Also, DeMar, he's got the experience. He offers more than what Buddy Hield does. I mean, there's no comparing Buddy Hield to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's the best player in either of those trades, right? So you go with the best player and you try to make it work, right? If both came down to 2 firsts, something like that, I would rather go get DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. But again, does the Chicago Bulls want to do that? Does it make sense for the Lakers to do that? I don't really know. And look, it's if Zach Lavine did become available and Zach Lavine did want to go to the Lakers, I think it would be tough for the Lakers to say no, just because it's a play for now and the future. It's kind of like the whole Kyrie thing. Like, you go get Kyrie Irving, and then you kind of figure it out from there, and you hope that those 3 guys are enough to go win you a championship. Lavine, LeBron, and Davis, I do think, are enough to go win you a championship with the guys we have right now. But again, health is an issue. Fit is an issue. Defense would still be an issue. But if you can sort of outscore and anchor, and if Zach Lavine can kind of buy in. I mean, look, Darvin Ham was able to turn Russell Westbrook into, like, a top defense. Russell Westbrook's playing real defense. That dude is killing it right now. And so, if you can work something out. But the problem is then, like, you still need to unload Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn. You need to go get some other pieces, stuff like that. But now you don't have any first. Like, I would just personally rather see the Lakers take Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, go get, a piece or two, then take Russell Westbrook if depending on what the deal is for Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, right? Depending on what you get in return, if you can take Russ, go get, another couple pieces. Because with Russ, I love Russ, and I've been a huge defender of Russ, right? And I would love to have Russ here for the long haul, but a couple questions you have to ask. One, does Russ want to be here after this season? Two, how much money does Russ want to get paid? Three, does the Lakers really want him and see him for the future, even with his bench role? Four, would he be willing to accept a bench role for the long haul? Or, if a team like Washington is like, hey, we need a starting point guard, you're not going to get the money, but at least you'll start. Maybe he'd go there because he liked it in Washington. Bradley Beal loved him, and they worked great. Those are all questions that you got to ask. And if any of the questions are no, or any of the answers to those questions are no, then you got to trade Russell Westbrook and get some pieces for the future. And depending on what you get for Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, then you're probably locked in cap space-wise. So you might as well go trade Russell Westbrook to try to get some pieces for not just this season, but for the next few seasons, because that's probably going to be your team for the next few seasons. And I just don't think that this is a move that does that. Obviously, if you can get one of them in the purple and gold, again, I think the Lakers would, right? If either of these guys are an option, I think the Lakers jump on it immediately. I just do. But from a fan perspective, I mean, yeah, it would be cool. It'd be hype. If it works, great. But it's just the issue is depth. And that's been a problem for them, right? Like when they won the championship, they were a deep team. They were a number one team in everything that season. And a lot of people like to say, oh, it was the bubble. But go back and look at that team the entire season. They were number one record the entire season. They were coming off of a huge win streak against three of the top 5 teams in the league at that time. All of that stuff, right? So it wasn't like the Lakers were an A seed and then went into the bubble and won the championship. No, they were really good because they had size, they had depth, they had everything. And then you had two, top 10 players in Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Well, they have two top 10 players in Anthony Davis and LeBron James, arguably still the best duo in the league. They just don't have the pieces around them, and we're so reliant on those two night in and night out having to give us 30. And yes, DeMar DeRozan, Zach Lavine would really help alleviate that because these are both guys that could go get you 30. So now you don't have to rely so much on Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But still, you would rather have I'd rather go get 3 or 4 guys that could give you, 40 in production rather than 30, and also give you 10 assists, 10 rebounds, because you're getting production by committee. You're getting more size, you're getting more, bodies, you're getting more so guys can stay healthier. All of that. So I'd rather go with the depth rather than go with the superstar right now, just based on what we've seen with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. If Anthony Davis was just a modest 22 and 10 guy, and he just wasn't kind of taking over as the number one guy now, and he wasn't playing to the level he was, sure, maybe you should go get another star just because sooner or later LeBron's going to leave, and now you're stuck with an Anthony Davis. But Anthony Davis is showing he can be the number one option. So they got to make a decision. Do you capitalize on this window you have right now and push your chips to the table and try to go win a championship now? Or do you try to just go get the star, hope you win, and if not, well, then at least you have 2 stars going forward, even after LeBron, and then try to build a team around those 2 guys after LeBron? It's just, I don't know, it's a decision the Lakers are going to have to make. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers should wait around for Zach Lavine? Do you think they shouldn't? Do you think that they could even get Zach Lavine? My whole thing is this just feels like the Kawhi thing to me. Where you're waiting around for Kawhi Leonard. You pass up on all these viable options, and Kawhi doesn't come, and now you're scrambling. That's what I'm worried about. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know. Good, bad, ugly, somewhere between down in the comment section below.